Okay guys, in this video today we are going to be talking all about Cardano and some fantastic news that has just come out. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, make sure you hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell, tap on all the notifications and you won't miss another Cardano update. Right, with all that done and out of the way, let's get into what is going on here with Cardano. What is this fantastic news and what this might mean for the price discovery of ADA. This video is sponsored by Crypto.com, the world's fastest growing crypto app. With Crypto.com, you can buy that fear and sell your cryptocurrency. You can of course earn a juicy return on your investment and spend your cryptocurrency via their debit card. You can track all your transactions, and of course we cannot forget their new NFT platform. So why not check out Crypto.com? Link is down in the description below and you will get a $25 sign up bonus. So guys, what we're talking about really is of course the Alonzo rollout, or what the plan is. Charles Hoskinson, CEO of IOG, actually dropped a video about 19 or 20 hours ago talking about how the Alonzo rollout plan is going ahead, what to expect next. And this is pretty fantastic things. You can find this of course on Twitter. So we do have Charles Hoskinson who sent this tweet out talking about the Alonzo hard fork combinator event and having the date set. I'm going to go through some of those highlights on this particular piece. So you guys, yeah, feel free to watch the video if you want. I'll give you the top line stuff here. So basically, I think this was on Wednesday. So just yesterday, the Cardano founder, Charles Hoskinson, updated the Cardano community on an upcoming Alonzo hard fork and ongoing developments. The developments are still or are getting all the required stuff together for version 1.4 node. And this is a pretty good milestone. Now, Hoskinson noted that the Rosetta APIs and the DB links or syncs are all in place, right? Starting next week, Cardano will bring together all of the exchange partners offering support and go with live testing. And that's a pretty big milestone to basically start having all these exchange partners coming together to actually start testing this functionality. So pretty cool stuff. Now, post the consolidation opinion on all stakeholders, there will come a final date of the Alonzo upgrade. So we all have that to kind of look forward to. Now, basically the Alonzo hard fork combinator event will happen during the last week of August or the first week of September, whichever one comes first in terms of making sure all the bugs and stuff are actually sorted. Now, as per Hoskinson in this video, he says that things are looking to get pretty much on track, or are looking like they're on track, and nothing in sight could lead to any major delay, which is obviously positive news. And against all those people who are saying with that particular bet that the smart contracts will not launch by October 1st, I think they may have to have a difference of opinion shortly. So Hoskinson also stated that the final or first goal is to deploy the infrastructure layer. So later, atop of it, the development tooling and new features becoming a running game. So the Alonzo White hard fork implementation already happened last month, and basically that facilitates integrations with most DeFi applications. And as you saw this happen over here in July, and that was pretty cool to see. Now, this makes Cardano's blockchain even more competing with the Ethereum blockchain network. And commenting on the testnet results back then, Charles Hoskinson said the following. He said that things are looking good. We've discovered bugs and integration issues that we would expect to discover along the way. But we're working through them. We're following a rigorous process, and yeah, things overall are fairly stable. So pretty good and positive news. Now, allowing users to run smart contracts on Cardano is the next big talking point. So last week during his live stream, this is Charles Hoskinson, I think it was about the 31st of July, he confirmed that post the upgrade, smart contracts will be available to the users of the Cardano blockchain. And he says the following. He says that there are kinds of two parallel tracks going on at the same time for the launch of Alonzo. Track number one is the hard fork combinator event, strictly about getting Alonzo's capabilities to the node. And the other track is about building the infrastructure around that node that allows you to run both off-chain and on-chain code and build full dApps. So it is clear that Cardano is closing gaps with its biggest competitor in terms of operations. And the Cardano founder also added that the sophistication of things built atop of Cardano will only get better with time. Now, there are numerous integration partners involved with this particular upgrade as well. Now, obviously, when we talk about Cardano, when we talk about everything that's going on from the smart contract point of view, this is obviously just one of a few areas in the roadmap for Cardano. And the smart contract functionality is absolutely key, right? We have obviously the staking functionality that came with 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. We're looking at smart contract here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. And as we go into the next couple of areas, we'll all be looking at governance and scalability as two key things. I think scalability is obviously the next major milestone to be hit after we have the smart contract functionality on chain. And this scalability is something that we've spoken about quite a few times already on the channel, because this is where we start to see transactions that go above 1 million per second. And that is a huge throughput that very few other chains can kind of compete with. So right away, we know that Cardano has a very bright future ahead of it. Although there are obviously lots of jokes in the industry about Cardano being or having major delays, and they really rarely get things out on time. At the moment, for the Cardano smart contract functionality, it is definitely looking like it's going to actually occur on time. And that's going to be a huge win for this particular ecosystem, and again for the price discovery of ADA. So whilst we are here, we're going to briefly talk about what to expect over the next few months when it comes to the price expectations of ADA. So right now we can obviously see that we are sat on the weekly chart and we are paired with USDT. Now, on this weekly chart, we can very clearly see the Elliott theory, 5 impulse waves to the upside. We obviously have just endured the fourth wave, which is a correction wave over here. And again, this has actually brought us stochastic relative strength index all the way down to an oversold situation, all the way down here, a really low level. Right now, at the point of recording this video, it's at 7.6, and anything lower than 20 is oversold. So we obviously, after 3 weeks of printing green candles, the expectations are still to push the price of Cardano higher. And this is just because we cannot stay down in an oversold situation for too much longer, and we do have to have a decent correction come in soon. But we could take a look at the price movement that we've had so far, right? We've basically taken Cardano from these lower areas of about $1 all the way up to the current price of about $1.37. And in doing that, we've actually moved from 0.9 from a stochastic point of view up to 7.6. So straight away, we know that we've not actually moved our stochastic relative strength index all that far, but we have actually gained 37 cents in terms of ADA. So pretty good price expectations and price discovery and price recovery on the back of this weekly chart. And obviously, it's good to understand what to expect next. And personally, we can see within the charts here, technically speaking, at least $7.20. But I do think there is a huge opportunity here for Cardano to potentially spike up much higher, go up towards those higher levels of, $10, $15, $20, maybe even more. It really does depend on what kind of dApps actually get built upon the ecosystem under this smart contract functionality. And of course, at the same time, we are expecting to see some migration of about 100 or so companies currently running their dApps on the Ethereum ecosystem and to port them over to the Cardano ecosystem. So market share is going to be lost from Ethereum and it's going to go over to Cardano. And again, I think this is something that everyone should be pretty familiar with at this point. Now, obviously, on that journey, as we start to have new projects launch on the ecosystem, some will be fantastic, some maybe not so fantastic. You're going to have to do a lot of research on those projects. As we always say, there is no substitute for doing your own research, so make sure that happens. And with that being said, though, I think there's a lot of those projects, like we've seen previously with many of these other ecosystems that launch, we do start to see a massive price discovery, a massive returns on investment on some of those new projects that launch on such a powerful chain. So I think the same is likely to happen here when it comes to Cardano. So one to watch out for. So let's actually jump down into our daily. Now we obviously have a broad understanding as to what is going on our weekly chart. We are incredibly oversold, but we can also see that we've actually breached our neckline of our head and shoulders. We'll show you that on the hourly in a moment, but we are obviously overbought on our daily chart. So our daily chart does need to have some form of correction to occur in order to allow us to continue the growth on this daily chart. But of course, this is just the stochastic relative strength index, and we could be on the cusp of a new trend, in which case the relative strength index would be a better metric to use. But still, we're going to refer to the stochastic until we definitively do have a shift in a change in terms of trend lines. So right now, obviously pushing up to these higher bounds, this is a good area of resistance right now, about $1.37. The major resistance though does come in at $1.48, so about 10 or so cent away from that area. So we're going to be mindful that ultimately we're going to find some kind of rejection shortly for Cardano, but we can obviously have a correction on our stochastic relative strength index massively without actually doing any price damaging at all to the price of ADA. We could actually sustain the price by trading sideways and allowing the momentum to drop out of our stochastic relative strength index. And if that does happen, then we could start to see another wave to the upside here for Cardano. Now, Cardano has obviously reached as high as well over $1.45, $1.46 and 47. I can't remember the exact level. Let me just check it. $1.47, right? So we obviously have a all-time high of $2.47, and obviously the price expectations really go from there. So as we said, we have the Fibonacci retracement tool. This does indicate to us $7.20 as the higher level there. So again, that's the price expectations according to the technicals right now. But what the technicals do not know is they do not know how investors will react when we have smart contracts. We do not know what technical changes are going to be made to this data once we start seeing 100 dApps move from Ethereum over to Cardano, for example, or new projects actually launch on the Cardano ecosystem and actually get used. These things change the technical data, and as a result, we could potentially see a spike up towards the $10 range, the $15 range, or even the $20 range. And I know people have spoken about a potential for an 800% move for Cardano, and I'll see if I can even find that. That does put it up here towards, let me find that. It's about $11 or so, about an 800% move. So I think there's so much potential with this particular ecosystem. It's great to finally see that August we're going to see this Alonzo hard fork combinator. That's fantastic news. That's really going to usher in the next stage for this ecosystem. As we jump down into our hourly, here we can see the head and shoulder patterns that we're talking about before. If I just bring it up, right? So the head and shoulder pattern was over here. We broke down past the neckline, and what we've done here is actually pierce through it, retesting this area, and then actually taking up a couple of additional steps. So a good support line for us will be $1.35. And again, we've spoken a lot about $1.28. It's been a strong support for us previously, as well as resistance. Right now, the upper resistance is up here towards $1.40 before we do go up to $1.44, and $1.48 obviously is the major resistance that we want to breach and turn to support. So right now, there's a lot going on here for Cardano's ADA. Lots of fantastic things going on both the daily and, of course, the hourly view. Some fantastic news with some interesting things to occur in the next few weeks for this particular ecosystem. I think Cardano is going to do incredibly well long term. So again, as an investor in this project, I will obviously be dollar cost averaging better positions during the bear market as well. Now, guys, what's important, no matter what is going on with those daily views and those hourly views, is that we do zoom out and we have a look at what is going on with the weekly or the monthly view, because this is the big picture, right? This shows us where we are going and the journey there, right? Sometimes you can get too bogged down with the detail of those hourly views on those daily views. It's always important to zoom out if you're ever in doubt. Make sure you're aware of where we are heading. And guys, hopefully you have found this Cardano update useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, tap on all notifications, and you won't miss another Cardano update. Guys, with this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.